now that it's here, the season is here, how different is the feeling?
I think it's nice just knowing that there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, and this Saturday we get to go out and play against somebody other than ourselves, and we get to see a new look, and that's always exciting. And there's no time like the football season. That's what we live for around here. So we're looking forward to it, and everybody's really excited, and you can kind of feel it around here.
Speaking of new look, coaches were telling us that defensively Buffalo throws a different kind of scheme at you. What do you see?
Yeah, they're not as traditional on the defensive side of the ball, but we've done a great job preparing. We have a lot of film on them from last year, and Coach Warner and the offensive staff have given us great looks in practice along with the scout team, so we're confident that we'll be prepared and we'll be able to handle anything they throw at us.
Jack, for those freshmen who go out there for the first time, what's that like? What was it like for you?
I think running out of the tunnel in Ohio Stadium for the first time, I don't think there's any feeling like it in the world. It's definitely not something that I'll forget soon, so it's a life changer. So I'm excited for those guys to go out and just see how many people really come out and support the Buckeyes on game day. So it's going to be a lot of fun for those guys.
How do you do that without hyperventilating as a freshman? What would be your advice to those guys like a Dontre Wilson or Ezekiel Elliott or some of those guys?
I don't think those guys are short on confidence. I think they'll be all right. So I think it's just more exciting than anything. I don't think those guys will have a problem. They have a lot of good guys in their position group ahead of them, older guys that they can look at for advice. So I think they'll be all right.
Following up on that, just what you just said there, have you been impressed with the way they've handled themselves in preseason camp from a nonplussed approach, or just talk about what you've seen from those young guys?
Yeah, I've been impressed by a lot of the freshmen, just the way they handle themselves. A lot of them are very mature kids, and came in here ready to work, and I think that'll show on the field. When they go out there and get some playing time. So. I don't know who's going to play and who's not, but they've all come out and handled themselves really well this fall camp, and I'm proud of them so far.
You said you have good film on Buffalo. What do you see on film that impresses you about them?
Obviously, like I said, they throw some different stuff. They have some speed on the defensive line. I think they have a really good outside linebacker / DN that we've kind of been preparing for. They're a talented team, especially up front, and we don't take anybody lightly. So as an offensive line, we've been preparing for different looks and different blitzes that we may get come Saturday.
Corey and Andrew have missed some time. How much have they missed, and do you feel like you guys are as ready as you should be?
Yeah, they're both just battling minor things, and they have missed some practices, but we've had, in the past we've practiced together so much. I don't think Andrew missed a practice or Corey all last season, so as far as continuity, we'll be fine. We know what it's like to be out there with each other. They were, got more and more reps last week during practice, so they were definitely out there more. And when a guy leaves and comes back, it's right where we left off usually. So they're both such solid players that I don't think it should be a huge issue.
One of the offensive leaders on this team, what are some of the things that have to happen during the course of the game Saturday that you can gives you a feeling that, okay, things are going okay for us, as opposed to like last year, Coach Meyer mentioned it was only 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, and he was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I think as an offense, communication is going to be key, and not everything always goes right in football, and nothing's perfect. So when something doesn't necessarily go our way, we have to bounce back from it faster than we may have last year, and realize that the next play is the most important one, and it's our job as leaders on the offensive side of the ball to make sure that happens, and I think that's something that we can do better than we did last year.
All the things that you mentioned, though, are things that other people can't see. Is there anything that people can see to give them a feeling that things are going okay for this team?
If we're moving the ball, I think that's the only thing that from the outside that you can see is going well. But there's a lot of other internal factors that will be at work on Saturday. So I think it's more behind the scenes stuff that will keep us going on offense.
Jack, you guys keep talking about Braxton being more vocal, being more of a leader type guy, but just specifically, is he on top of guys, telling them where they've messed up and what to do and things? What's different about him this preseason compared to a year ago?
Like you said, he's just matured a lot more as a leader. He's grown up a lot in the last year. Now he has a lot of experience. Now he's got 2 years of experience playing at the highest level of college football. So I think he's been using that to his advantage and kind of showing guys the way. And he has been more vocal, and he's really taken the leadership role on. And I'm proud of him. And he keeps getting better every day and moving forward, especially with his leadership.
As you watch your offense on video, like from the scrimmage the other day or whatever, what do you see that's definitely different and you think better about this offense compared to a year ago? I
think these young guys add a new dynamic to this offense. There's a lot of speed that just got infused into the program with these guys coming in to go along with all the great skill players that we had here from last year that are returning. So I think there's just a quicker edge to us than maybe a year ago, and it's just been really exciting to see these new guys develop.
Jack, if you were to be named team captain, what would that mean to you?
Obviously, I'm not. I don't want to speak on that too much, but if I were to be named a captain at Ohio State, that would be one of the greatest honors I could ever receive. So that's. I don't want to talk too much about that whole process. That's Coach Meyer's thing, but. That would definitely be a huge deal for me.
Jack, how far does this team come in a year? How far does this team come in a year? You go back to where you were 5 days before kickoff last year, the feelings that you had to the type of feeling you have and the confidence you have now.
I'd say we're a lot more confident on offense. We're obviously coming out this week and still grinding and still trying to get a lot better, and we know we're not quite there yet. But I think, like you said, it's just a confidence thing. And we've been in the system for a year. We know how everybody's going to react under high pressure. We've been to war together, so I think it's just, like you said, a different vibe as far as the confidence goes. I think we're a more confident team.
Coach Meyer was saying that he thinks the depth on the O-line, Jack, is a lot better than what he expected. He cited guys like Pat Elflein. Can you speak more about that?
Yeah, I think during camp a lot of guys stepped up. You mentioned Pat Elflein. He comes out every day and works his butt off. I think he's going to end up being a good player here. He's got an unbelievable motor. He's a tough kid. And then Jacoby Boren, who is a smart kid, and just like Pat, he's tough. High motor guy, high energy. And then Kyle Dodson's working every day. And those young guys that came in are grinding too. So I feel pretty good about our depth. I knew that guys would have to step up during camp. The more reps guys get, the better they get. So I think that's something that we accomplished during this fall camp.
Coach Meyer praised Darryl Baldwin. Almost gushed about him. The way he's come on in the last couple of weeks. What have you seen from your vantage point of Darryl? What's clicked with him?
Well, first of all, Darryl's a very physically gifted guy. He's 6'6", 310 pounds, and I don't think there's an ounce of fat on him. Big, strong guy with good feet. He played D-line, came to us from the D-line, and on top of that, he's a really smart guy. He studies the game. He goes out to practice, and he sees things, and he reacts really well to those. And I think that showed during fall camp, and he stepped up a lot. And he's kind of showing the young guys how to do it. Also, he's kind of moving into a little bit of a leadership role also. So I'm proud of Darryl, and he's moved a lot.
Where's he playing? What area?
He's kind of a swing tackle right now. Yeah. He takes reps at right and left tackle, so he can do it all.
Well,
go ahead. Hey, what's Braxton's personality? What's Braxton like? How's his personality changed from a year ago? Or is he the same?
I think the great thing about Braxton is that as a human being, as a locker room guy, he hasn't changed. I tell people every time I'm out here is, his humility is his best quality, and he stayed humble through it all. And but I think as a leader, he's grown a lot, like we talked about, and he's kind of showing guys the way now, and that's great to see out of a quarterback. And I think he's kind of realized that he's not the young guy anymore. He's kind of grown into this role, and he's embraced it. And I think it'll show on the field, and I think it's going to be really good for our football team.
Jack, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.